said to myself, look at God sending me someone before I even get started to look after me for this job that I may be doing. And so as I got here to Marlboro County, we had an opportunity to become closer before the election and then even closer after the election, and we have grown even closer after I have left. And so to Reverend Smith, again, I say thank you for being not just a good board member at the time, but also for being a good friend and a good brother, someone that I love very much. And so I just want you to hear me say that. I know you hear me say it on the phone all the time. We talk regularly, but I want to acknowledge you. I do it in private, but I also want to do it in public. So thank you for letting me be here on this day.
Thank you, sir.
I will be brief with my comments, and some of you know I read off script very rarely. I did write some things, but I don't like to read off script because it kind of confuses me. You know, I have ADHD, and so I don't like being confused. I want to go back for a moment and say thank you to each and every one of them for being here because you had other things to be doing today. So I want to particularly say thank you to some that are here today. Chuck, the little baby. Let's acknowledge the baby. We have two babies. And everything we do, just know, we do it for those coming up behind us. And so for the babies, cry on as much as you want. Right. Don't think it's going to stop me because I can't be stopped. I want to say thank you to the brothers from Alpha Beta Beta that took the time to drive over and spend a few moments listening to me today, even though they listen to me every day. My partner, Dr. Leroy Robinson, our vice specialist, and then my young brother, Emmanuel, here. So thank you for taking the time to come out today. I want to say thank you to my wife. That's her with the camera right there, and I'll talk about her a little bit in a moment, but hopefully she's not recording it. Like she is. I intentionally did not give much to Brother B for my introductions. I'm not really big on introductions. You know, whenever a speaker comes before you, it's almost as if they have to quantify their purpose and their presence for being there. You know, he won this, he attended this, he's been here, he's done that. Although I have many accolades, none of them are important to me because I think the thing that is most important to me is what I say today. All of my achievements, and that's what I'll talk about today, mean absolutely nothing because I failed way more times than I have achieved. As a matter of fact, I stand here today as a man who has failed so much until it's almost impossible to believe that I've been able to do some of the things that some might consider to be an achievement. One of the very first things that I have failed with in life is my marriage. And I say that because I've lied to this woman so much until it just doesn't make sense. Now see, some of you went the wrong direction. This is about to be Jerry Springer. I say I lied to her. When I met her, I told her I would give her the sun, the moon, the mountains, promise her the world.
Still got time.
And so far, the best I've given her is Bennettsville, Darlington. That makes me a failure, but in that failing, I'm still succeeding because had we not come here, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to meet all of you that are here in the room today. I talk about my failures because my failures have led to my successes. Everything that I failed in has allowed me to be who I am. I tell young people all the time, it's easy to see someone and think that that's where they have always been in life. But the reality that exists is you don't know a person until you know a little bit about that person's story. You know, I say to young people, I have a doctorate in education, and so some would think that I'm a pretty smart guy. But when I graduated college, I had plans on going to law school. And I applied to the top 10 law schools in the United States because I wanted to be at the best law school. And during my time of studying for the LSAT and submitting my information to these law schools, I felt confident felt confident because I was on top of the world. I said, hey, you know, I made it out of the projects. I went 4 years of college, and so I'm on my way to law school, and that's what I'm going to be. I'm going to be a successful attorney. And one day I went home after having done everything that I was supposed to, and I saw 10 letters in the mailbox from the colleges that I had applied. And so with eager and excitement in my eyes, I opened the first letter, and it said, Gregory McCord, we thank you for applying to our college. However, at this time, you have not been selected. That's what I said. Who said that? That's exactly what I said. It was crushing. And it tore me up on the inside. But I had 9 more letters. And then I had 9 more letters. I said, hey, if first you don't succeed, try again. I opened up letter 2. And it looked just like letter 1. I'm going to letter 3. I opened up letter 3, and it looked like the other 2. I continued to do this until I had opened all 10 letters. And all of the letters, albeit they had different names from the colleges and universities, they all shared the same sentiment. And that was I was not going to be allowed to enroll. As crushing as that was, I felt defeated. I felt defeated, but I didn't feel complete. And so I had to build up my courage to share with my mother, who was in the other room waiting for me to announce to her where I might be going to college. Said, hey, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I have to do something else. I have to be prepared to take a course or a direction that I had not planned on. People like to say failure is not an option, but failure is optional. Failure is optional, but what you do with it is the part that makes a difference. And so, albeit I didn't think about where I would be or how I would be, but I knew that I would be something, somewhere. And it's important that I share that story with young people because they like to assume that because you are where you are, you started out as a success. Success is not something that comes overnight. You prepare for it. You prepare for it, and the people that you encounter help you prepare for it by what they put in you, by what they pour in you, by what they share with you. Most importantly, that's the best and the biggest thing that we can do with young people. I love being around young people so much. I can't tell you. It was a young man who asked me to get into teaching. His name is Broderick Hall. He asked me to get into teaching. He said, you have a passion for being around young people. I was substitute teaching, and he said to me, it's just something about you I think it's a natural fit. I never thought about it. But I knew I wasn't going to law school. I still had the letters. And so I got involved in teaching, and the more I got involved with teaching, the more I got involved with young people. The more I got involved with young people, the more I fell in love with young people. The more I fell in love with young people, the more I wanted to share with young people. And the more I shared with young people, the more I wanted to do to help more young people, which led me to continue in my journey to the point where I made it finally to the role of superintendent. It wasn't for me. It was for the people that I was serving. And a part of me, when I talk about being prepared, a part of me got that way. And how I am with people, I give everything that I have to anyone that asks. And if I know you need it before you ask, I'm going to give it to you. But I wasn't always like that. When I was in high school, I was a shy person. I know some of you find that hard to believe, but I was very shy. I was very determined, but I was very shy. And I was very shy because I didn't have much. I didn't have much because my mother was raising 3 boys by herself, and she didn't have much. And so I always wanted the things that everyone else had, but I couldn't get them because we didn't have the means. And so I would go to school, and I would kind of stand off in the corner and watch people. I'm a people watcher. I get that from the country. I'm nosy. That's what they call it in layman's terms, nosy. And I used to watch this cat in particular. His name was TJ. And I bring him up because I share this story with him. I used to watch TJ every day. TJ, he was a little bit taller than me, but he was, with good hair and a good complexion, and he was always sharp, crisp. I mean, everything he had was much better than mine. And he had a nice new car. Everybody flocked to him because they loved him. Everybody flocked to him because he had everything going on. I hated him. I absolutely hated him. I hated him, and I hated everything he stood for. And I would watch him every day, and I'd just look over at him. He'd be standing over there, the girls go to him, the guys go to him, and I'd be over in the corner. I hate that sucker. First chance I get, I'm messing him up. That's what I used to say. So one day, I was trying to get a job. I was at a place that would later on employ me, and the owner was talking to me about where I attended school, and I told him, and he said, oh, he said, our best worker, TJ, he attends school there. And about that time, TJ walked in, and he looked up at TJ, he said, TJ, you know this guy? He said he goes to your school. And TJ looked at me and said, I don't know him. And he walked off. I said to myself, if I don't get this job, I'm going to get this tomorrow. It costs me my job. Well, I share this, and I'll try to hurry up with this story. TJ, when I came to work on the first day, I mentioned I didn't have anything. It was a 5-star restaurant, so you had to wear black pants, and a white shirt, and a bow tie, and everything had to be crisp and clean. I didn't have that. So I was in the back, and I was trying to put on a shirt that was too small, my pants were too tight because it didn't belong to me, my shoes were broken down. TJ walks in, and he looks at me. This is the same guy I want to mess up. He said, hold on. He gave me an outfit. And I'll never forget it, because he's gone on, he's passed away. But not only did he give me his outfit, well, that night, everything he had, he would give to me free. So my style of dress, the clothes I wore to school every day, the shoes I wore to school every day, they belonged to the same guy that I could not stand.
TJ.
The same guy that I wanted to mess up. The same guy that I hated, I abhorred him. Because he had everything I thought I wanted, but couldn't get it.
Right.
And when I found out, and that lesson has stood with me to this day, what I found out is when you don't know a person, then you assume.
Right.
You assume they have something that you don't have.
Right.
But in reality, like I tell people every day now, if I got it, we got it.
Right.
You don't have to ask me for it. If I know you need it, I'm going to get it. So the young people, I share that story. And it makes me emotional because I still deal with that to this day. You don't know people. People don't know you. They know the presence of you.
Right.
And until you get an opportunity to meet a person, you may not know what God has in store with that individual.
Right.
And so to young people, again, I say to you, it's important that we share. Not the successes. Even though this is achievement we've all achieved, that's important, but it's not as important as the failures. How have you failed? How have those failures led you to where you are today? That's what we have to focus on. Our journey is big. My journey is no bigger than anyone else's in this room. But I do know, in the end, how we lived our lives will take us to our final destination.
That's right.
And so God purposed me to come here tomorrow so that I can continue my work to share with others, not about my achievements, but about my failures. Some might say that my time here in Marlborough County was a failure because it came to an abrupt end. I disagree. When I moved here, I bought a house. I said I bought a burial plot. I said I wanted to work here and I wanted to die here and be buried here. Had I stayed here, had it not come to an end, I would be dead to this day.
That's right.
Y'all don't understand what I mean by that.
That's right. I understand.
The work that I was doing, although it didn't seem like it meant much to me because I walked around carefree, it was taking a toll on my heart.
That's right.
Had I not been betrayed, and I say betrayed because sometimes betrayal is the only way we can get where we're supposed to be. Had things not happened the way they were supposed to happen, I wouldn't have taken the time to go to the doctor
All right. That's right.
when I felt something kick me in the chest.
That's right.
Had I not left here abruptly, I would have continued to work. I would still be, well, I wouldn't be here now. I would have continued to work, and I would say, oh, I'll go to the doctor some other time. But because I had that free time, I said, hey, let me go and see what's going on here. When I went to the doctor, they gave me a heart cath. He said, young man, we don't know how you're alive. You got 100% blockage on one side, 85% on the other side. He said, in fact, if you try to leave here, you might make it to the parking lot. If you're lucky, you make it home.
What?
You're definitely getting ready to die today.
My Lord.
My God.
I share this because, again, it's only because of where some might think that I failed, it's where I actually have achieved.
That's right.
All right, go ahead now.
That's right.
That's where I have achieved. What I thought, not what I thought, what others think I may have missed out on, I know he has led me to a greater purpose. And the things that I do now continue to be sharing and giving all that I have. And I implore to you to do the same thing. It does not matter how old you are. It does not matter how much money you have. It does not matter where you come from. Your experiences matter to someone.
Yeah.
Just as I was watching TJ and didn't know TJ, someone is watching you.
Yeah.
Someone is watching you, and they can't wait to have an opportunity to sit down and learn about you. Jealousy and envy takes a hold of all of us at certain times. Let it go.
That's right.
Let it go. And Fullard and I were just talking about how we as a people haven't quite figured that out like others have. But the reality of it is this: good people sit idly by and watch bad things happen to good people and never say a word. We got to put a stop to that.
That's right.
We have the power to put a stop to that. People talk about the election that took place, and they say, "Oh, you know, we didn't go out and vote. We didn't go out and vote for the big position. I could care less about who's in the White House.
That's right.
It's the local elections that we're going to fill.
That's right.
And I hope that whatever the 4 years come for the next 4 years, if nothing else, it brings everyone together to understand the importance of voting locally.
That's right. That's right.
The big house is just a big house.
Yeah.
His house is where you need to be mindful of. He has a plan and a purpose. Knowing where we are, standing up, stepping out, speaking out, sharing our information, giving it to young people so that they can go out and do things responsibly. Another failure that I'll talk about, and I'll be brief with it, and I say I'll be brief with it. Well, no, I'm not going to talk about that failure because that'll take too much time. Well, I will tell you this because she's here with me. You know, when I was in college, I share this with young people. I got kicked out of college 3 times.
What?
Don't say it like that.
Go Wood.
Now, a while ago, you were looking at me like I was somebody. You got a young man getting up. Said I was kicked out of college 3 times. On that 3rd time I got kicked out, I attended the AME Zion school and they didn't have cohabitation. I had a little young lady in the room. They kicked you out for that. They kicked you out. You over there laughing. And they kicked me out. I didn't think it would happen, but they did. I was in the midst of yet again failing. Because I had a young lady in my room. Now, what people don't know yet is that young lady turned out 37 years to still be with me. So that was another failure that has led me to success.
That's good, bro.
Because without her, there's nothing I would have been able to do.
Right.
Had she not gotten me kicked out of college. And it was her fault because she was in my room. Had it not been for her, then I probably would not have graduated college. I would have taken that and gone on and done something different. But because of her, I knew I had to get back in college. I had to continue to graduation. And so I thank you for getting me kicked out of college. But that failure has led me to achievement.
That's good, man.
I want to talk lastly about my mother. I mentioned her earlier and what she's going through. And I bring her up because I watched her fail daily. I watched her fail daily, but I also watched her achieve. There were times when we would go home and everything in the house would be off. The lights would be off, the phone was off, the water was off, but she was there.
She was there.
She never panicked. She never panicked, and that taught me to never panic. We'd go a day or two without, and then everything would be back to normal. So she would achieve daily. She would fail daily, but she would achieve. And she always made sure that we knew the importance of saying thank you and please.
All right.
That, I give her all the praise in the world, because she did it by herself. She didn't ask to do it by herself. I always tell people that was my secret. My mother was my secret. She was strong enough to be a man, but she was a woman.
Yeah.
Some of you probably don't know what I'm talking about.
We
She was
know.
strong enough to be a man, but she was a woman. And she did it on her own. And so I want to say thank you to her for what she did in making me. Lastly, I want to talk about my charge for you as I get ready to sit down. I like to think that I made a difference in the lives of someone that I've encountered over my 30-plus years in education. I like to think that when I get calls from students on Father's Day or Christmas time, or birthday or Thanksgiving, I like to think that I made a difference in their lives and they're better people for it. I leave with you today the same charge. We don't live our lives for ourselves. We live our lives to give and share with others. That's the purpose that God has placed us in. We all would fall short. There's a scripture that says, all have fallen short. No, all have sinned. There we go. That's why he's a reverend. Tell him again, all have sinned and fallen short. Don't be ashamed when you fail.
That's right.
Don't be embarrassed because it doesn't go the way it's supposed to go.
All right.
Take that story and share it with someone.
My
And
God.
talk about the successes that came as a result of it. The lessons that we learn come from our failures.
Thank you.
Being defeated does not mean being completed.
Yeah.
As long as you have faith in the Lord above, you pray daily, and you give thanks for all that you do have, then all of us can achieve and be successful. Thank you for your time. I know you don't believe this, but someone right now is watching you. I want to say a special thank you to this young lady here, if I can call you out. This young lady, I won't say how old she is, but
It don't matter, it don't matter.
Go ahead on, Miss Brown. Tell him.
91 years old.
Thank you.
That's a
I
blessing.
want to say
Thank you.
thank you to her. She has served young people for, if she's 91, she served young people for a long time.
Long time.
And she's getting ready to retire. And this young lady was at work every single day when I worked here in Marlboro County. And she's still working to this day, and I can't believe it. And I'm just so happy you thought enough of me to come out and see this morning. The same with Mama McGray. All of you that came out today just to say hello, I thank you for it, and I want to publicly say thank you, and I love you, and I love you, and I love you.
All right.
Love you.